Welcome back to the instruction segment of our show today. Being as how it's the beginning of the season, we're going to talk a little bit about some fundamental things to get you to start practicing basic fundamental stuff at the beginning of the season, and then you can use that and we'll build upon that as we go through the season to give you some good instructional, solid foundations to get started with. So what I like to do early in the season with most of my students is give them some basic setup information, some basic weight transfer information, and a couple basic swing thoughts to think about as we go forward. Once you practice the fundamentals at the beginning of the season, you can use those to build upon going forward. So the first thing I like to try to get everyone to do when they come out to the range and get practicing early in the season, we're going to lay some clubs down initially so that we'll get your alignment right. We've talked in the past about alignment and the importance of that. If you're not aligned properly and you make a good swing, the golf ball is not going to go where you think it's going to go. And then you may ask yourself, well, that felt like a good swing. Why didn't it go where I thought it was going to go? Well, possibly because you weren't lined up in the right place. So let's start with that. I'm going to take a couple clubs from the equipment portion of our segment. We're going to use those as alignment aids. And what we'll do is we'll lay one down on the ground. That's going to be parallel to our target line. And from the back view here, you can see how that points right down our target line. Okay. The other club we're going to lay perpendicular to that club. We're going to use that as a reference for our ball position. Okay. You want this club to be at a 90-degree angle to the target line club. Okay. What we'll do when we go to hit some shots is we'll put the ball right at the end of that club. You'll set up to hit your shot. Okay. And you'll notice where the ball's positioned in between your feet. Okay. Now, ideally, for a short to mid-iron shot, we want that ball to be just slightly forward to center of your stance. Okay. Ideal setup is with the right foot square to the target line, left foot slightly open, maybe 20 to 25 degrees. What you want to do to check your ball position is make sure you square both of those feet up. Okay. Because with this left foot turned out, it'll give the appearance that the ball is actually a little bit further back in your stance than it actually is. So just square your feet up. You can see right there, we're about a ball forward of center. I would say that's a good position for anywhere between 8 to pitching wedge and sand wedge. Some people like to play the ball a little bit further back in the stance. Keep in mind, the further back the ball gets, the more the club has a tendency to get de-lofted, so you get a little bit lower ball flight. If you're looking for lower ball flight, if the wind's blowing a little bit, you may want to move that ball back in your stance just a touch. I would caution you not to play anything ever any further back than the center of your stance. As we move into the longer clubs, 3-iron through 6 or 7-iron, we want to move that ball position slightly forward, maybe about a ball or so. Again, squaring our feet up, you can see we're through a 3 to 4, 5, 6-iron, that ball's a little bit further forward in the stance. Okay, and then finally with the fairway woods and longer irons, somewhere between just inside the left heel or maybe an inch and 2 inside the left heel is where you're going to want to play your driver and your fairway woods. Okay. The one exception to the wood type clubs, which is the hybrids, those are going to be played more like an iron shot, okay, more like the longer irons, the 3-iron, the 4-iron, the 5-iron. You're going to hit those with a descending or a level blow as opposed to an upward swing that you would with a driver or maybe even a fairway would. So keep that in mind when you're playing your hybrid clubs. But again, the importance of getting the ball in the right position is going to allow you to make a fundamental swing that's going to give you the best chance to hit a good shot. Now, ball position is not an exact for any player. What you'll want to do is experiment with where the ball is positioned. Again, just keeping in mind, never any further back than the center of the stance. Ideally, never any further forward than the left heel. And a general rule, as the clubs get longer, we want to try to move the ball further towards the left foot, okay, or the forward target foot. Now, once we have that ball in the right position and we go ahead and make a couple swings, I would caution you to make some practice swings first. Okay, just a nice balanced swing to get yourself loosened up. Feeling some weight transfer onto your right foot on the backswing, okay, and then onto your left foot, and you want to finish facing your target in a nice balanced position as well. Swinging within balance is going to allow you to swing with control. It's important that you do that prior to hitting any golf balls to get a feel and a sense for where that weight's transferring. Now, a good thing for you to check while you're swinging and making your practice swings is, am I transferring weight to the right foot on the backswing? Okay. Ideally, when you get turned on your backswing, the placket or the buttons on your shirt should be directly over your right knee at the top of the backswing. So at the top of the backswing position here, okay, your hip should turn and not slide to the right, which is common for a lot of players trying to get the weight shifted. They actually make a sideways move. We want you to actually start by turning your shoulders, and then that'll allow the hips to rotate in position. Again, buttons on the shirt right over the right knee is a good position for the top of the backswing. Okay, when we finish, you're You're going to turn through in the opposite direction. Again, no sliding sideways, but actually a turn and rotation of the hips. When you finish your swing, again, you should be balanced with all your weight on your left foot. Again, buttons of the shirt right over the left foot. Okay? A couple good things you can use to check. Make sure you're in the right position. Top of the backswing, buttons over the right knee. When you're in this position, if you have enough weight on your right side, you should actually be able to lift your left foot on the ground. Okay? One of the common flaws that we see when we teach the golf swing is people will turn and they'll get weight on their left foot, and you can actually pick the right foot up at the top of the backswing. You don't want to do that. That's called a reverse pivot. It causes you to hit shots basically all over the golf course, which is not what we're trying to accomplish here. We want to try to get the weight onto the right foot, okay, turned behind the ball, able to lift the left foot up. Then you check your finish position by finishing your swing balanced, okay, with all your weight on your left foot. You should actually be able to pick that right foot up a little bit. Okay. So those are a couple good checkpoints for you to make sure that you get yourself into the right position and get yourself a good balanced finish. Then what we'll go ahead and do is we'll add the golf ball. A lot of times when we add the golf ball, we'll see people they'll make a nice balanced swing during the practice swing, but when they get into the golf ball, a lot of times people will hit right to the golf ball and stop. You notice how I finished flat-footed here. Okay, so what we want to try to caution you to do is make a nice practice swing. Okay, balanced finish, put the golf ball in place, and then try to mimic the practice swing at the same pace and let the ball be in the way. And you'll find that you'll get some much better results that way. Hopefully that'll help you get started on the right foot. We'll be back with you in a couple weeks to get developed further on our fundamentals, and hopefully we'll have you on track to playing the best golf of the season.